Hello everybody and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast, where we talk all things Dream Team, helping you to win your mini leagues. Before we start, hit that like button, hit that subscribe and notch the bell. Make sure you get notified every time a new podcast lands. If you do want more content or just to show your support for the Dream Team Tonic lads, head over to patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic. The link is in the description below. We offer access to an amazing Discord, exclusive articles, fixture easies, live question and answers and much more, all to help you improve you as a Dream Team manager. Without further ado, I hand you over to me, Tony, for today's podcast. Enjoy and thanks for your support. Hello. Here we are, episode 96 of the Dream Team Tonic podcast. I'm Tony, and with me this week we've got the usuals. James has returned, and Ben, ever present. You there, mate?
Hey, mate. All right?
All good. Yeah. James.
I'm here, Tony.
You back?
Well, I was here last week, and I only missed 1 week, you know.
You weren't here last week, were you?
I was.
Fergie last week. James was.
Oh yeah, I did have a week off. God, I'm losing it. Yeah, you're right.
I thought I was losing it then. I thought I'm a bit hungover last week, but I weren't pissed. Yes, good to have you back, mate. After a week off. If you've just heard the little intro there, that's to save me keep forgetting to plug the YouTube, plug the Patreon. So we've got an exciting little trial coming up, a free trial for our patron, starting on the 6th of Feb, Monday the 6th of Feb. We're going to give 7 days free access to everything that the Dream Team Tonic podcast patron has to offer. Obviously, you get the access to the Discord, which is absolutely brilliant. Helps everybody out. Some good chat on there. A lot of top managers helping each other out. You get early access to the podcast. Usually, we've been pretty prolific recently. It's usually on the night that we actually record. Usually the podcast goes up. We've got the player watch list, the Tonic watch list. We've got live Q&A chats in there. We've got all the exclusive articles that we write for the Hub with the Dream Team Tonic Relay 11. We've got Ben's fixtures, which is a massive help through the month, from month to month, helping you out with the quantity and quality of fixtures. We've got special articles from Matt Woolley, who throws some of his opinions out in Woolley's Waffle, which is really good. There's a lot of fresh stuff just come in recently, so it's a good time to give a free trial and a good time for everyone to find out what we're all about. So if you are just listening on YouTube, Spotify, or through the Hub, and you do want to just show your support or see what more you could get out of Dream Team Tonic, then head over to patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic. The link will be in the description. Get yourself over there and have a mooch. So with that being said, straight across, lads. We're going to start with you, James, seeing as you're off last week. So let's have a gander at how your team's done this week so far, and what you've done with your last transfers, and obviously maybe a few new transfers.
Yeah, so not too bad this week. 24 points. I brought in with my last transfers of I had 4 transfers left over.
James,
so I did.
James, you've actually got 32 points because Kane's points aren't on there.
Do you know what? That is the
that's the website for you. I noticed before we put it on.
You've got to do a hard refresh on the page to get it to update.
Yeah. So congratulations.
I've got 32 points this week. My transfer, I had some transfers left over. So on Thursday night, I got rid of 3 of my Newcastle defenders and brought in Man United defenders. That went well.
So far.
Well, yeah, but obviously, like Ben's alluding to, there is another fixture for Man United. against Leeds in midweek. So I'm hoping they get a clean sheet there. So I did Shah to Martinez, Botman to Shaw, and Byrne to Wan-Bissaka. That was before I knew that Dallo was going to be on the bench, of course. So he'll be back soon, potentially eating into Wan-Bissaka's time. But I don't see him. Surely they'll ease him back, but we'll see. I also switched Son, my 1 week punt from last week, Son back to Kane, which was quite fortunate, because obviously Kane scored today. And then with the first transfer of my new allowance, I got rid of Almiron and brought in Fernandez, and that worked out quite well. So 32 points this week. So I've got 4 United defenders now. I've got De Gea, Martinez, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, nil point from all them. I kept Trippier for now, although Newcastle don't have as many fixtures. I'm still debating whether I'm going to keep him or not. He just keeps tricking along with those points. That's the trouble. But in midfield, Mara's got me nothing. Fernandez got me 13. Odegaard got 0. Up front, Kane and Rashford got me 8 points each, and Haaland got me nothing. Not 32 points. I'm not too displeased with that. Could have been a lot better if that United clean sheet had come in.
Yeah, decent. So, what are you thinking about doing with Trippier then?
Do you know what? I don't know. I'm reluctant to take him out. I don't know. What do you think, Ben? What have you still got? Have you got rid of all your Trippiers?
No, I stuck with some of them because I had my eye on Kevin De Bruyne, but because it's only 1-for-1 this week, and I thought Newcastle had the better fixture, I've held on to Trippier in pretty much most of my teams. But next week, when Man City have a double game week, and then they've got double game weeks from then on, and Newcastle only have single game weeks, I probably will be moving to Kevin De Bruyne. Even though he's benched today, I think he'll be back in the team next week. Can't play without him, can they? Really?
No.
It is odd that he didn't start today. He didn't start the last game against Spurs. I think I saw someone say. I don't know why, because clearly they needed him today.
As soon as he came on, he created more chances than anybody else in the match.
Yeah,
crazy one. But you can never read Pep, can you? You don't know what's going to happen. 32 points. Nice, James. I matched that 32 points. A little bit of a different route though, because I went without Kane. So I had De Gea in the net, 0 points. Wan-Bissaka 0 points. Shaw 0 points. I kept Dan Burn and Trippier. I got 8 points and 3 points. I didn't want to spunk too many transfers early doors. De Bruyne 0 points, who brought in. Fernandez 13 points, nice haul. Almiron 0 points. Rashford 8 points. Haaland 0 points, and another transfer in, and Nketiah 0 points. Had a bit of a punt on him in quite a few sides actually, probably 4 or 5 sides. I brought him in. It was hard because obviously with Dichinho going into Everton, I've got an Arsenal supporting mate, and he were a bit worried of new manager bounce and Everton being at home. The fans were up for it. And to be fair to Everton, they played really well, really, really well. They nullified Arsenal pretty much. He had a few opportunities in Nketiah. I thought he might have snuck a goal, and then I wanted him for the double next week. I was trying to be a little bit different, especially my top side, because we were 11th before the week started. I just thought Nketiah could, if he could get a couple of goals, 2 or 3 goals over the next 3 games, be a good differential and probably fire me up more like 5th and 4th position. It didn't pay off so far. I'll just monitor that going forward. Trippier. I think I held him in. I don't think I took him out of one side. I think he's in. If he's in my side, in the majority of my sides, he's probably in. But if he's in there, I don't think I took one of him out because although he might have the fixture volume, he is an absolute magnet for that Star man. And obviously, getting he got 3 points this week. I think he just tick along nicely. There's a lot of money tied up there though, and if it comes push to shove, and obviously, like you said, Ben, you're looking at De Bruyne.
Yeah.
There's probably not another defender you could switch in for De Bruyne because of the value of him. He's obviously quite expensive, so yeah, if something like that comes along, then obviously Trippier will be gone. But until that, I'm happy to just tick along with him with a majority United block. But yeah, not too bad. 32 points so far, 1350 total. This podcast team, which is 12.7k. So not too bad. Not too bad. How's yours doing, Ben?
I got the same amount of points as you two, 32 points. But you, like you said, you went a different route. You got Dan Burns 8, and we got Kane's 8. So I did a transfer on Thursday, and I sold Dan Burn. And then he's gone and got Starman. But long term, Man United, I've got Luke Shaw in for Dan Burn. Longer term, Man United's got 8 fixtures to Newcastle's 4 this month. So definitely. I would imagine it'll eventually mount up. Luke Shaw had his assist stolen off him.
God. We'll touch on that later anyway. I think there's been a question asked about it.
Yeah. And then I did 2 transfers this week. Martinez in for Share and Joe Linton out for Harry Kane. So I was happy with that. Seeing Joe Linton was back in midfield playing the up and down the pitch role, getting about, tackling. So he was playing left wing before, wasn't he? But now he's back in midfield because of the injury to... Bruno was suspended. That's it. Yeah. Bruno Guimaraes. So I saw that and I thought, I've got to get Harry Kane in any game, any time.
Yeah.
He'll score in it. So got him in and he's given me 8 points. So... for Man United at the back now, De Gea, Shaw, Martinez, Wan-Bissaka. Trippier's still in there for now. Like I said, I've got my eye on Kevin De Bruyne for next week. Might do that move. Fernandes, 13 points. Almiron, 0 points. Mahrez, 0 points. Rashford, 8. Haaland, 0. Kane, 8. This team is now 26k, so it's gone up again. Yeah, it's getting up there. My best team is 870th, so that's dropped down 200 this week because I left Veghorst in that one because of the 2 games. I thought I'll give him the 2 games. Got a double game week, but yeah, that he's got to come out now. Definitely,
you'll get a hat trick against Leeds.
I hope so. Then I'll still sell him. If Kane's got a double game week next week, I'm definitely bringing him in for Veghorst.
Yeah.
I see you boys both have kept hold of Miggy. Are you not thinking of getting rid of him?
Definitely. Yeah, he's the other transfer. I'll be probably bringing in a Man City defender. Because City have got the same amount of games as United now. So I might edge my bets, bring in Ake or Akanji. Or even Lewis, but probably not Lewis yet. I don't need to save on the funds, and I like Ake a bit more because of his attacking potential.
Yeah, good goal threat, Ake. For me, Almiron is probably going to go to Mahrez. Unlucky not to score today. Hitting underside bar.
Yeah.
Good effort. Yeah, Almiron's definitely coming out for me.
I see Lewis was, if you look at the ratings for the Spurs City game, he was so close to getting a 7. Closer than any of the other defenders I noticed. So I thought it was interesting. You said, I'm not going to go Lewis yet. Is that But are you not worried that you might be overthinking it because he's cheaper, or do you think
Possibly. It's
he's
just
more? He's more
go on, carry on.
Is it more to do with you think he's more rotation prone?
Well, yeah, but today he played the full 90, didn't he?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Played well.
maybe he's not. Walker somehow got back in the team, so I think he's in front of Walker. I think yes, they're the three that I'm looking at if I would go to a Man City block.
Yeah.
They're the three.
Hmm.
Don't seem
Yeah.
to be getting them cleans at the minute, do they? City. One of them. It's a tricky one. Right. It's time for the listeners' questions. Let's get involved in all the things that people want us to talk about. Eh? You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
need to go all stagnant. So yeah, right. First up, we got quite a few questions on Casemiro. Obviously, I think you were quite a popular transfer this week. Without looking at the transfers in, I'm pretty sure there were quite a lot of people that brought him in because he's cheap. He's got all of the games. He's got the fixture volume. He's an attacking threat. He's a seven rated magnet. He's got a bit of everything. And then he goes and does this to us, and this is Dream Team all over, isn't it? So we've got a few questions. Go on, sorry, James.
I was going to say he's actually the top transferred in player this week, with over 22,500 people brought him in.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I've not looked at that, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. He had everything going for him. John Cameron on Twitter, Casemiro to Mitoma, only just put him in and he gets a red card. Thinking Mitoma for the next 3 games. What's our thoughts? Lee Hooper again. Is there an argument for owners to hold Casemiro? He has a 3-game ban, but he's locked in for the first week now. So obviously one of them games is already rode this week. So it's a case of removing him for the 2 fixtures lost. And Aman has also asked about Casemiro, saying, who's the best replacement? So we'll delve into a bit of everything on there. James, what do you think? Matoma, a good option?
Well, but the problem there, of course, is that Brighton have only got 3 fixtures, and that generally will go for fixture volume. But the counter argument to that is he's bloody scoring every game nearly. So I can see why someone would be thinking of Matoma. Brighton have got Crystal Palace away, Fulham at home, and then Stoke away in the cup. Yeah, I mean they're not bad fixtures, are they either? Whether he plays at Stoke away, I don't know, because they might rotate in the cup. So it might only be 2 fixtures. So it's a tricky one. I mean, in that sort of price bracket, I think if you haven't got Odegaard, he's probably the one to bring in. Although he didn't play very well for Arsenal against Everton and got subbed off, which was quite a surprise. But he wasn't having a great day. I think a bad day at the office for, as one of our patrons said, for Odegaard.
Yeah.
Tricky one that. I'd like to hear what Ben thinks because he's Mr. Fixture Guru.
We all rely on Ben for fixtures.
Well, like you said, he's on fire at the moment, isn't he? Yeah, 81 points since game week 12. In the last 9 game weeks, he's scored 81 points. Only 2 blanks since the World Cup. So he's on fire. But then you got the counter argument. Casemiro doesn't actually blank any weeks. He blanks in the league, but he doesn't blank in Europe. And he'll be back for the Carabao Cup final. So, it could. They are tough games in Europe. They're playing Barcelona, so they're the 2 games, and then they play Newcastle. So, but there isn't
Ex-Real
really.
Madrid. Ex-Real Madrid, he'd love a goal against Barcelona, wouldn't he?
He'd probably love to kick them as well, or strangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Mitoma's a good shout because Brighton are still in the FA Cup. They've got a nice game against Stoke. and they've also got 3 games to rearrange.
Yeah.
So they've got to rearrange Bournemouth away, Palace at home, Newcastle away, and they've got quite a few gaps in the calendar. So they could somehow be put in. You need to refer to Ben Crellin for the when these games will be putting in, because he's the FPL fixture guru. But that could be a possibility. So that's interesting.
Did we not touch on it last week with Fergie that it was looking likely to be early March for the
Yeah.
first of the rearrangements? It kind of discounted any of February's weeks to be any of them games to be put in, because they're all looking at that thinking you've got 3 rearrangements. If Brighton can get a couple of them thrown in with their form, and obviously with Thomas playing, I mean, it's a great option then. If he had the fixture volume, even if he only had 5 or 6 games, he's definitely, I mean, he's a massive option.
Yeah.
Scoring for fun.
I think he's, if you're going to put him in, he's going to be your 4th choice midfielder at the moment for me.
Of course.
There's a bit obvious at the minute. You got Mahrez, De Bruyne, and Fernandes for me. They're the first 3, and then there's obviously Arsenal are going to be in Europa League next month in March, and West
next
Ham.
month. Yeah, they're going to.
Yeah, so they're going to be playing in the last 16, so they're going to have extra games. So you got Saka and Odegaard as well, like you just mentioned. Odegaard's probably about the similar price as Casemiro, and then you got Bowen at West Ham, who's been on a bit of form recently, been playing a bit further forward. So they could be interesting options. But like you say, look at Højbjerg. He just keeps pulling points out of nowhere. He got 10 points today.
Yeah.
So Højbjerg's got 3 star mans, 5 goals and 5 assists, 96 points, and he's 7th on the midfielders rankings now and the point scoring, just beyond Foden now. So it's just,
and obviously European games coming up. Start doubling, don't the Spurs? So
I just can't pick Højbjerg. I don't know. Just he doesn't come into my. Every time I think, nah, and he just pops up again with an assist or a goal.
Well, it's a bit like Casemiro, really, isn't it? I mean, he's
doing the same.
He's supposed to be a defensive midfielder, but he's not. He's more than that. I think he does like to get forward, doesn't he? And he's shown some pretty good goal scoring prowess this year.
Yeah, and Spurs have been crap, so that's why I don't want to pick Spurs players. But have they turned a corner now?
Yeah, so it's a really good point you make, though, Ben, on Casemiro, saying, because obviously people just started writing him off for the next 3 games, but he will play in Europe. Yeah. So obviously you're losing him for midweek this week, definitely, because
you can't do anything about
you
that.
Can't move him on. Obviously he's going to miss the weekend game, but he will be playing in midweek against Barcelona, surely.
Yeah.
So he's going to have basically he's playing 1 game weeks, isn't he? He's playing 1 game a week. So it's not as urgent as some people might feel. If you fancy Casemiro, once his band's up from the leading on into March, then you could hold that transfer and just write it off as if you've got an Almiron who's only playing once a week or such a player like that.
Yeah, United are still in the FA Cup as well, so there could be more fixtures in the future for United. And if they obviously qualify from Europe against Barcelona, it's like you might be looking for Casemiro again in the future. So it's not so bad because he's still playing every week if he gets picked. Obviously, I don't know if Ten Hag might be fed up with him now. He got that booking against Arsenal, didn't he? He missed the match. Sorry, the game before Arsenal. He missed the Arsenal match.
It's so soft. I think they could have sent off, if they were going to send him off for that.
Yeah,
I thought they should have sent off 4 of them, because I think there are a couple of incidents or little moments that were worse than Casemiro grabbing his throat, because I thought he's literally the picture looks worse than what it is because it seems he's just holding Will Hughes away from him. I know it looks like he's strangling him, but I think Will Hughes was pretty persistent trying to get towards him, and he's just held him off.
Mm.
And there were a slap from Fred. There was all other things, and Slup, obviously, he knew what he was doing, nailing Anthony down in that corner, throwing him off the pitch. Anthony being a little dickhead, just doing his tricks and whatever else he does, just, rallying the team up, and it all could have been avoided. I definitely don't think it should have been a red card for Casemiro. Definitely not. I think they should have just wrote it off as handbags. VAR should have stayed out of it. There was nothing serious happened there. There was nobody too upset with all the antics. It should have been left alone.
Did you see there was a different camera angle where it didn't look like he had his hands were quite high because he has those big black gloves on. They weren't actually fully around his throat.
Is it on his chest, more or
On
less?
his jacket,
More
on
of his
top,
chest.
wasn't it?
But the referee didn't get to see, or VAR didn't get to see that. Although he went over to the pitch side monitor, didn't he? He didn't get to see those pictures, whereas he didn't get that angle. So it probably was a bit harsh when you first see it. If you raise your hands, straight off. But if you look at it from a different angle, it wasn't as bad as it looked from that sort of just behind Casemiro.
Yeah, they were definitely. If VAR are looking at that that short snippet of handbags, I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 worse instances than that bit before you get to that bit. It's like, so what is VAR doing? It's like he was targeted. So, oh well, we've seen his hands near his throat, and we're only going to look at that now. He should have been throwing that card around, that red card, 3 or 4 of them at least. And it's just no consistency again. Once again, very, very harsh on Casemiro. That I thought. There's me defending a United player.
What's going on, Tom?
And to be fair, I don't even think I put him in many sides. I think I might have put him in one. So even that wasn't one of my top sides. So yeah, but I just think it was harsh. I wonder whether there's a case for appeal.
I don't think so.
Is it because it's gone to VAR that is the appeal?
Your hands, that they won't upset the referees by overturning that, will they? Because interestingly, one final point on this for me at least is that I think if you've used 3 transfers already this month or more, I probably would keep him because of what you've said. He'll still play against Barcelona next week and the week after. It probably doesn't make sense to take him out because you might need those transfers for a player that's not going to play at all if he gets injured. So certainly something to consider.
Yeah, definitely. We're speaking here, it's 5th of February. There's still the whole month to go. If there's a big injury to a big player, you need that. You need that flexibility. Casemiro's probably not an urgent replacement at this moment in time.
Yeah, and I just looked there. When he comes back for the Newcastle game after the Barcelona, he plays the Barcelona game second leg. Then Newcastle's the new weekend. He plays the Carabao Cup final, and then he's got West Ham on the midweek in the FA Cup 5th round. So that's the double game week again for him. So
he's still got 4 fixtures. So he's got 2 against Barcelona, Newcastle in the cup, and then the West Ham in the midweek.
Yeah.
So he's still out. Oh, he's still out fixturing Mitoma, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, so Mitoma will only have a single game against Stoke, and he'll have Newcastle and West Ham at home, both games. Oh, sorry, not home. The Carabao Cup final is at Wembley.
And this is why you listen to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. For little bits of info like that. All of a sudden, Casemiro going from a write-off to actually, he's still got more fixtures than most. Even with a 3-game ban. And he'll be fresh in them games. He'll be having a rest every other 3 days. So, yeah, happy days. There was another one there from Jordan Jackson who were asking the same question as well, saying a 2-game gain, so he's a must out. But yeah, hopefully you're listening. And yeah, he's not doing too bad on the fixture count, Casemiro, even with a 3-game ban. Right, next up, DT Patrick. Is there ever really a valid reason to blow all 5 transfers first week of a new transfer month? Patrick, you are prolifically I mean, yeah, you love to spunk a transfer or five, don't you? I mean, we've seen it month on month. Um, I was flicking through the Discord. I couldn't quite make out how many he's spunked so far. Has he done five or has he
I
done
think he's done
three?
5 again.
Oh, no.
He just can't. He just can't help himself, can he? That boy.
I tried talking. I tried talking him into like leaving his goalkeeper this week, just because he has Jose Sarr in goal, and I was like, "Oh, just leave him for 1 week, and just keep the transfer back." But he because of the fixture volume of De Gea against Sarr, which is understandable, he wanted to go De Gea. I know we didn't expect Sarr to get a clean sheet against Liverpool, but he is one of those keepers that gets a star man and that, and likes
Yeah.
a lot of saves. So,
Yeah.
and like goalkeepers don't get a lot of points usually anyway. So I that's why I was saying just hold that at least one transfer back. But yeah, I think he's used them all. He's set himself up for the month though. I think he's set up on United back line.
Yeah, it's just one of them,
Did
innit?
he?
Now you've got to avoid any injuries
He
or
avoided
suspension.
Casemiro.
Oh,
He
he did.
avoided
Yeah, I
Casemiro
was
though.
going to ask
Yeah, he went for Saka instead. So
Right.
a longer term pick there, which was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Patrick, I mean, I've done it in a few sides, but not ones that I'm actually hoping to do anything with. Um, yeah, it's very risky. It's very risky. You like at some point you're gonna have to you have to try and hold them back. You feel so much better for it, mate.
Mm.
Honestly, just hold a few back. You feel so much more comfortable throughout the month. To be fair to Patrick, though, I mean, I've done three. In my best side, that sat 15th. I've done three. I wanted to hold on to the Newcastle block as long as I could, which it always put me in a position that I was going to have to use a few from this month's budget to start moving on to United. So
Mm.
I've done three, but yeah, that's all I'm planning. Nketiah, he might be my fourth. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with him because I made the punt now. I need to see it through maybe for just one more week and then reassess. But yeah, there's never really a valid argument for making five. I don't think.
that.
Patrick's. Oh, go on. Sorry. Go
Sorry,
on,
I was
James.
just going to say his team value must be poor as well because if you burn all your transfers in the at the beginning of the month, you also don't have the ability to jump on players that have done well that week and ones that are dropping.
Yeah.
So if you just burn all your transfers, so you're just not going to be able to make any of those moves either. So I imagine his team value is pretty poor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll be able to let us know about that, Patrick.
Yes,
Uh,
it says James, who had 4 transfers left at the end of last month. His pod team.
yeah.
I didn't need to make any. I
He
was, I
can't
was
be arsed using them.
You had the
so well
luxury of
planned from the
changing.
month before. You see, I didn't need to make any transfers. To be fair, that team is absolutely flying.
Yeah.
It's in the top 10k now. It was ridiculous. It was like 300, 400k before the World Cup. It's top 10k now. So
Yeah,
Happy
and
days.
he's gave
amazing.
you the luxury of switching from Newcastle block to United block for the fixtures, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does. So I've made all those. I've done my block switch, and I've still got 4 transfers to use
Yeah.
for the rest of the month. So it's worked out very nicely.
Mini wild card.
Mm.
Patrick's been back on. Do 2 away games in a double game week put you off, especially if one of the games is in Europe, e.g., next game week Spurs are away to Leicester, and then 3 days later away to Milan. Is this a significant factor to consider in your player planning? Ben?
No, well, it depends on the caliber of player and the form that the player is in. Like you've got Harry Kane there or Rashford. If Rashford had 2 away games, I'd still put him in because he's just playing unbelievably, and he's got the fixture count as well. Harry Kane as well, like you said, any game he can score in. 2
Yeah.
away games this week doesn't bother me. Oh, sorry, next week he's got Leicester away, which he loves playing against Leicester.
He loves it.
what is his record? It's ridiculous. He's over 20
It's
goals or
unbelievable.
something.
Unbelievable how many
And
goals he
then,
scores against Leicester.
yeah, he's had a hat trick and a 4 goal game against Leicester
And he
before
played
as
for you,
well.
did he?
Yeah, on loan, and he was dog.
You
He's
dog
dog.
shit.
He was awful. It's like, I don't know what happened. It was like he was on loan to a load of championship clubs like Millwall, Leicester, and then he went back to Tottenham, and Sherwood just put him in for the Europa League, and he scored a couple of goals, and then he played him in the league, and then he just started scoring, and I think it was 1.5 million on Dream Team at the time, and he just kept scoring and scoring, and then suddenly he's basically just worked his socks off and
Yeah,
perfected his skills, and now he's one of the best strikers in the world.
yeah. He's
I
unreal.
just wish he was that good when we had our playoff. We lost in the playoffs to Watford, Leicester, and we had Vardy, Drinkwater, and Harry Kane on the bench that game. So all went on to play for England.
Yeah.
Crazy. What do you think, James?
Well, I think it's more of a factor when you're considering defences. I agree with what you said, Ben. If you've got two away games, and your defenders, you're thinking about bringing a defender with 2 away games. I think that's more of a consideration than maybe the attacking side. But good players can score against anybody. So in Dream Team, generally, you're picking top players. You don't have too. We're now at a stage of the season where you don't have too many enablers. So yeah, it's not a huge factor for me, but more on definitely more on the defensive side, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not one for me. Like I say, top players, they'll score points, they'll get results against anybody. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from, Patrick, but I won't factor that in too much. Fixture volume all the way, whether they're away or at home. Aman, will being in the EFL final be a distraction for United and Newcastle in the games before Wembley? Good question. Ben, what do you reckon, mate?
I think it could be for Newcastle because it's such a big deal for the city, and with it like not winning a trophy for so long, they've got literally haven't got a game, like they've got a game one a week, so they've got a long build up to every match. But with Man United playing every 3 or 4 days, they don't have like time to think about the EFL Cup final, and they're literally playing Barcelona 3 days before they play the cup final, so they'll be concentrating on that because they've got a second leg of the Europa League last 32, so they'll be concentrating on that, and then they just turn to the final. They won't be worried about it. Obviously, they used to be playing. Well, I don't think recently they haven't been in a few finals for about 4 or 5 years, hasn't it been? But yeah, they're a big club, so they're used to being in big matches.
Well, he
So
was.
it's
It's
still
been a while since United have got there.
was it Mourinho that won the last trophy with them?
Yeah, and he said
Yeah.
he played with the biggest achievement, but finishing second was the biggest achievement in his career. Something towards those lines that he made.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they won the Europa League, didn't they, with Ibrahimovic in the team,
yeah.
and they won the EFL Cup against Southampton. I think the same season.
Yeah. He knew the rod set in there, did Mourinho, didn't he? I mean, like you say, United in the run up to that game. I mean, the players are going to have to be playing every 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is. They're, they've got a lot of games to get through this month, and all the games are as important. You could probably say, all right, so the FA Cup one isn't. Where does that fall? But that falls after the cup final,
Yeah,
is it? Yeah,
yeah,
the West Ham game's after the cup final. So, I mean, you might see a bit of rotation in the West Ham game afterwards, but I can't see like it being a problem for us as Dream Team managers, because I think there's all them Premier League games on the run up and the Europa League games. And they're important games to the club, especially for Newcastle as well. They're gunning for them top four. They're not going to be resting any players. There's going to be full teams all the way up to that. I think what you might see from United is that cup game, West Ham. That might be the time when they rest a few and just say, you know what, let's throw a few youngsters in here. Let's give these lads a bit of a week off kind of thing, because they'll have played a hell of a lot of games in such a short period. But yeah, in the run up, I think it should be all right. Man, again, would you have Varane in your team, and who to pick between Dalot and Wan-Bissaka? What do you reckon, James?
Well, I've been wary of Varane because of his age and the fact he's a bit injury prone. So that he would probably be my fifth choice United defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and with when it comes to Dalot, I mean, I wouldn't touch Dalot until he's played a game or two, see how he looks, because the last he might be one of these players now that just is going to keep breaking down because they keep bringing him back too quick. We see it with the likes of Reece James in the past. I'd like to see him get some couple of 90 minutes under his belt. Certainly at least one.
Yeah.
So I would go. I'd probably still go Aaron Wan-Bissaka at the moment because Dalot hasn't played, although he was on the bench yesterday. He didn't come on though, did he?
Yeah.
No, I thought he would have sneak up pitch at some point, but yeah, what do you reckon, Ben?
I was surprised Dallo didn't come on because he was saying that if he wasn't fit, he wouldn't be on the bench. They asked him if he was fit to play, and he said to play like a full match, and he said, "Oh yeah, if he wasn't fit, he wouldn't be on the bench." But he didn't come on. Varane's been in my thoughts. He wouldn't be in my ideal 11 if I had to pick an 11 now for Dream Team. But if you're looking for a United block, definitely in my thoughts. I've got a couple. I think I've got one. We have one team with a full 5 at the back, United block with Varane. But yeah, Varane has been used a bit loosely, hasn't he, lately?
Yeah.
He's been rested. He's been brought off some games, but I think they're just worried that he's going to break down again.
Yeah.
But he's definitely first choice centre back with Martinez. Just
Without a doubt, he's the strongest centre half Burn they've had for quite a while, isn't it?
Yeah. Regarding Wan-Bissaka, at the moment Wan-Bissaka is in most of my teams. He's starting the games, and even if he wasn't starting, I think he'd still come off the bench hopefully for 5 points if they get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Just to give Dalot a bit of rest time, because I don't think Dalot will play full 90 yet.
No.
I wouldn't play him full 90. I'd give him 60 minutes or something. Bring Wan-Bissaka on. So even if he doesn't play the full match, he's still worth having in your team. Cheap defender as well.
Yeah, I think he's been playing really well, Wan-Bissaka as well.
Yeah.
Even going forward, he's looked more of a threat the last few weeks. Definitely impressed. I think he's pretty much got hold of that place at the minute. If someone had a gun to my head and said, "You got to put one of these lads in your team," who is it? I go Wan-Bissaka. Just because Bello broke down quite soon into his reappearance last time. I think Wan-Bissaka's. I think he's earned that position now. I think it's his to lose. But we do know how well Dalot were playing beforehand, and how much of a goal threat he is. It's a tricky one. Varane, he's made a Weetabix, isn't he? It's one of them, you never know when he's going to break down. So, like you say, he's probably one of the last picks I will put into that United defence. I think it goes like Martinez nailed, solid as out, fit as out. Luke Shaw, obviously, he's a good threat going forward as well. Wan-Bissaka and Dalot for me, and then obviously De Gea. Varane, I probably wouldn't touch. Probably rather have three defenders. Yeah. So, Amgu, has been on the Discord. Do we still see United block as best for February? Doubts creeping in already. We're on the 5th of February, one game in. Casemiro's a big loss, which is true. And are Chelsea in anyone's thoughts? Um, That's, yeah, United block's probably still the best. I feel like one game down, man sent off. I think if Kashmir hadn't got sent off, I think they see that clean sheet out. Um, Definitely, they've got the biggest fixture volume, the most chances of clean sheets. So yeah, I still think United blocks the best, even though Casemiro is a loss. Um, and obviously, playing Barcelona twice could end up in a few minuses, but hopefully not. Chelsea, for me, no. um, that lad who came in, who they brought in, I can't say his name. Is it
Badiashile?
Badiashile? Badiashile, yeah. He's not in the European squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy that. And he's playing every game at the moment. Why wouldn't they put him in Europe? Because I suppose they've got to put Modric in because he's like 100 million or whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's a strange one that. Maybe they're, and of course Koulibaly's not playing at the moment, so
yeah.
you wonder whether he'll be used in Europe. It's bizarre.
It's a crazy one. Koulibaly gets suspended in Europe or injured. You're leaving yourself short. I don't see how you can't play who seems to be first choice at the moment. I don't see how it don't make any sense to me.
There's a sort of
It's
thing.
for, I
Sorry.
was going to say, is Fofana in the Champions League squad? I
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah. It's
I don't know.
it's the sort of thing you do on Champ Man, isn't it? And you sign too many players, and you can't fit them in the Champions League squad.
Yeah, it's a strange one. So for that reason alone, Chelsea aren't in my thoughts because he was looking good and he was creeping onto like a watch list that I'm
Yeah.
thinking, do you know, he looks a good option. But then now, I mean, he's coming in and seems to have shored up that Chelsea defence. But then now in Europe, they won't be playing him. So how could happen? So yeah, not in my thoughts. And yeah, United are the best block in my eyes. What do you reckon, James?
Well, City actually have the same number of fixtures as Man United for the rest of the month now. They've both got 6. I think City's fixtures are actually better than United's marginally, but Man City don't look amazing at the back. I wouldn't be massively surprised if Diaz and Laporte come back in at any time.
Yeah,
They didn't look great defensively today. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I think with some teams I'm going to go City, and in fact I have done that already with transfers I had left over.
yeah,
I don't think I'd be going Chelsea. There's for the reasons that Tony said. 3 of their next 4, and there's only 4 games they've got in in February. 3 of them are away from home as well, so that is a small factor. And of course, the last one they've got is Spurs away. So yeah, I probably wouldn't be going there. Obviously, if Reece James starts to show some form, we know he can be explosive. I think he could be an exception, but not at the moment. I'm not thinking about it. I'd go with United as well. Although I do think City have the slightly better fixtures.
yeah, yeah. We do. Ben,
Yeah, like you say, it's a tough one. Both have the same amount of fixtures now, but probably on paper, Man City have the better fixtures with them having the better cup fixture and the better European fixture, so they're more likely to progress. But United have the more settled back line compared to City. Like you said, Diaz Laporte could come in any time. You've seen Walker came in this weekend, so we
yeah,
don't really know. They have looked a bit more settled, though, City. Like I said, Kanji seems to always play. Ake's been playing a lot more, and he likes Lewis. So, yeah, I've got my two best teams. My best team's got United block, and my second best team's got a City block. So
Mm.
I've edged my bets there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they both got the most amount of fixtures from now to the end of the month. So it's just a tricky one, like I say.
Yeah.
Can't pick one that stands out.
No, we'll
I
see
think-
by the end of the month, won't we? We know which
Yeah.
one were the best.
I mean, part of the question was Casemiro being
Yeah.
not there. I suppose that will make a difference potential to their solidity.
Well, Sabitza's going to come in now. Hopefully, he could be a
Yeah,
nice
he's not
cheapie.
he's not
2.5
a
million.
defensive midfielder though, is he?
No, but he can play anywhere in the midfield, and he can play as a second striker as well. So, but I don't think he'll play as a second striker. They brought him in as like a double pivot player to play the Ericsson role.
Yeah.
So he might play with
Yeah.
Fred.
Talented player.
Yeah.
I had him in my Euro team actually when we did the Euros, and he was decent. And I watched him, and yeah, he looked like a good player to me.
Yeah. Good signing for United, that. Very
Only
good signing.
2.5 million in the
Yeah.
game.
Could be one to add to that watch list. Right. Flower Pot Man's been on. Please, can you all make the funniest sound that you can think of, but it has to come out of your mouth? Thanks. Ben.
Oh, well, I've got to be careful here because my baby's asleep upstairs. Oh, right. What about this one? Woo! Who's that?
Ric Flair.
Yes. I got another one for you.
Oh my god, that is weird.
What was that? Like some of fucking Jurassic Park.
That's a predator.
I don't even know how you made that sound.
Go on, James. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
That's good. What's that?
You fucking eating fucking palm. Yeah, decent. Oh, that's about all I've got.
That's how many listeners do you reckon we've lost through that question?
Yeah. In fact, all family's looking through the window at me, going, "What the fuck's going on in that room?" Nice one, Flower Pot Man. Anyway, back to business. Man, he's back again. Oh no!
Oh no, don't ask.
Oh no!
Let's skip
Don't
it.
ask this.
We're just going to end up fighting over this one.
Yeah, we are, and to be fair, pod's going to end up about 2.5 hours long. All you're going to hear is Tony slagging Klopp off, James defending him. Oh, yeah. Is this the end of Klopp at Liverpool? James.
Oh god. It should be the end of some of the players, though. I think keep Klopp, get rid of some of the players, let him rebuild in the summer. I say, starting with that midfield, get Jude Bellingham in there, Declan Rice sorted, get our injured players back. Yeah, I think we'll things will turn around when we get a few of those injured players back. Firmino is been. He's like the glue in that side up front. He presses from the front. I think Salah's output could go back up if Firmino's back in there. So, yeah, I wouldn't get rid of Klopp. Klopp should decide when he wants to go. He's earned that right, in my opinion.
No. No. Definitely not. Definitely not. Go on, Ben.
Yeah, it was the wind. There's the wind's fault, and then we lose the game.
He doesn't make stupid excuses like that every week.
Ha 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 ha! Yeah, it was the wind. I tell you.
Shit. No. I,
I
where do you
don't
start
know.
with it? For me, he's lost that dressing room, and nobody wants to admit it. It's like you say, getting rid of the players and stuff. They're top drawer players. Top drawer players. Nunez were quality in Europe last year. He's come. He can't hit a barn door. Salah has dropped off the end of a cliff. Fabinho, he don't look as solid as he once did. Van Dijk looks uncomposed, as usually like the most composed centre half in the world. Trent, some of them videos of Trent this year have been absolutely embarrassing. Not just once, twice. It's like 3 or 4 times. There's been some proper embarrassing moments for him as a defender. Just standing there and watching people like the other team just run into his box, and he's is he spectating or is he playing? Is he the right? What's he doing? I just think the dressing room's gone. In my eyes, it seems the dressing room's gone. And Liverpool fans, rightly or wrongly, they love Klopp. And don't get me wrong, on his early days, and if he were in charge of my team and my football club, I'd have loved him to bits. But it's slowly deteriorating now to the fact that the excuses, like the wind, as Ben alludes to, there's always an excuse. And when you can sit there in front of the media and say, we can't spend any money, we can't compete with teams after just spending 90 million on a striker, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Just tell the truth. You've fucked up. And you've lost a pivotal part of your team in Mane, attacking down that left hand side. He was absolutely brilliant, Mane, for Liverpool. Him and Salah were unbelievable. And there were a lot. That pressing, that intensity that Liverpool had, I were in awe. When we were watching Liverpool at the best, and they're winning the Premier League, it were unbelievable. They were like untouchable. Like you couldn't beat Liverpool because their intensity, their pressing was just so much. Nobody could cope with it. Compare that to a Liverpool you're seeing this season. Whether it's injuries, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That Liverpool is not the same side, and that comes down ultimately to the manager who seems to have lost the dressing room. I think he should go, which means they'll probably they'll probably end up keeping him and winning every trophy possible next season. But uh, yeah, it's just that's just my opinion. I get why Liverpool fans are what do you call it?
Standing by him.
Yeah, like they're committed to him, and do you know what I mean? He's quite infectious, Klopp, or he was to begin with. He's just slowly, as Aman says, he seems a broken man. He does, and it seems a broken team. Is he the man to fix it? We'll see, won't we? We'll
They
see.
were they were so close to winning a quadruple last year, though, weren't they? Like they got to
Yeah,
the Champions League final and they won the League Cup and the FA Cup. They got so close to the title as well. The high they were on last year, it's just like this year they've come crashing down.
yeah.
Obviously, a lot of injuries. Van Dijk's a massive injury, massive miss for him. Like I think it was when
He's
he
not
was
looked
injured.
himself, has he?
Yeah, he hasn't looked himself, but when he was missing last time as well, they went on this horrible run. It was a season that Liverpool turned it on in the last 10 games of the season and they snuck into the top four.
Yeah, with Allison's
Yeah,
Allison's goal.
Alisson's goal against West Brom.
Yeah,
Yes,
and we
they've
could probably
got the
see a repeat of that.
they could do it again, but it's just they need to what's the word? I can't think of the word. But they need to get themselves back into gear again, and they could
Yeah,
go on again and do it again.
Don't forget,
Go on.
that Van Dijk, whilst he's not been on top form, he is the leader at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matip was horrific at the weekend. Van Dijk's the guy who organises it all at the back there. I mean, we were pretty bad when he was playing as well, but we were even worse without him.
yeah.
He may not be quite the player he was since Jordan Pickford crocked him. Bitter. Oh, we've got Everton next, of course. Don't forget. I really
big
could do
game.
without it being that fixture next, because with Everton, I'll be buoyed for that one.
Oh God.
And yeah, I'm not looking for worst time to play Everton, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. They've just
Definitely.
off the back of a win.
New manager, and they look good as well.
New manager bounce.
They didn't
They
rag
did
that
look
game.
good.
They played very, very well, Everton.
They made Arsenal look very ordinary, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they did. And to be fair, I've watched Arsenal do that to teams so much this season. Yeah, Everton played really well. They defended really well. They should have had 3 or 4 more goals, I think, Everton. I don't think that would have been too kind to them.
At least the games at Anfield, it's not at Goodison.
Yeah, definitely.
If it was at Goodison, I'd be like, oh crap, because those fans they're going to be well up for that. But no, it's at Anfield, so that bodes in our favour. We usually play better at Anfield, of course. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to take something to turn around the season for Liverpool. Obviously, expectations go with how Liverpool were playing, and like you say, how close they were to winning 4 trophies, and expectations, and you perceive like they go up there, don't they? So high. Is that for now how Liverpool are playing? It's like, I mean, they're like, yeah, it's crazy the difference. So, chalk and cheese. But we'll see what happens there, James. I don't want to go too on about it too much. You know what I mean? I had a bit of a rant in the Discord, and so I wanted to just leave it at that. But I knew someone was probably going to ask that question about Klopp. Sticking to the Liverpool theme, Connor, to Salah or not to Salah? Do I cut my losses and accept it was a bad move putting Salah in, or pray he gets a hat trick against Everton and that looks like I'm a genius if it works out? James, would you go anywhere near Salah at the minute?
Well, I've been saying for weeks I wouldn't touch any Liverpool players, and certainly for the last 2 or 3 pods I've done that I wouldn't touch Salah either. No, there's better options out there. I would go. It's the you're going to have Haaland and Rashford unless you're crazy, as and and the other one's going to be Kane, isn't it? Probably. So I don't see a place for Salah in anyone's front three at the moment. Even in Nketiah, I would have above Salah at the moment. Perhaps when, like I said, when Firmino's back, it might be a different story, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with you, James. Yep, totally agree. Rashford and Haaland are no-brainers at the moment, and then you've got one space left. So Kane's fixtures are looking beautiful for me. I think they got Leicester away, AC Milan, who aren't doing too well in the domestic league at the moment. West Ham at home, which is a derby, but it's tough. And then Chelsea, both at home though, and then they've got the cup match, which is Preston, is it? No, they just beat Preston, didn't they? It's between Wrexham and Sheffield United. That was it. Yeah. So this month, I think Kane for me, and then like you said, Nketiah is my 4th choice.
Yeah, not to Salah is my answer.
Yeah.
No
Salah.
I think you're going to see some now from Liverpool. You've got to. I think the worrying thing is that, and this is probably the first time, maybe second, when Liverpool were playing at 3:00 against Wolves, I didn't even worry about the lineup. I didn't even check the Liverpool lineup. I didn't worry when the goals were going in. Like when you're getting a goal alert from the Wolves game, I weren't thinking it was Salah. That's weird. Because usually he's someone you got to hide behind the sofa when you go without, but not at this moment in time. Obviously, wait for that to change because quality players and quality teams as well, because they've got so many quality players at Liverpool. They won't stay down for too long. It's just trying to time that when they do start coming back and start impressing again and start scoring goals, keeping clean sheets. It's being on it at the right time. Right, Coles 1993. In what order would you prioritise City defenders if funds weren't a problem? I think you did this, did you, Ben, earlier?
Yeah, I think I
Go
did.
on, mate.
Yeah, so Ake first for me, just because they're the goal threat. Kanji's probably more consistent in the team. He's been playing more games, but yeah, Kanji will be my second choice, and then Lewis. I wouldn't really want to go for any more defenders just because of the price of them. They're a bit dearer, and I'd like to use that money in the midfield and attack. Uh, if I was pushed, the fourth one would be Edison. But like I say, there's cheaper goalkeepers out there doing better than Edison at the minute. So De Gea's 4 million, so he's got the same amount of fixtures.
It's crazy we're talking about the City defence, and I've just heard you say Ake, Akanji,
I know.
Rico Lewis. They're the three. And you've not said Ruben Diaz, Americ
Laporte.
Laporte, Walker.
Yeah,
I, it's crazy.
I know.
Crazy. Is
If you
is
said
that
that
the
in
issue?
August, I'd be like Cancelo, Cancelo, Cancelo.
Yeah, Cancelo, Ruben Diaz,
Yeah,
obviously Laporte is probably nailed at left centre half, and Walker right back. Yeah, crazy. What do you reckon, James?
I had exactly the same order as Ben for slightly different reasons. Ake, because I don't think he's got any competition now at left back. And Akanji because he's playing most games, and Lewis because he seems to be a favourite. So yeah, same order as Ben.
Yeah, I think without Laporte and Diaz being, we need to see what's happening with them. Is he going to bring them back in to try and shore up that defence, or try and bring a bit of solidity? Is he? We don't know. But at this moment in time, Akanji's massively in favour. Played nearly all of City's games. Ake, we've seen Pep talk him up about being his best in the box defender. Um, and like I say, playing left back, plays left centre half. There's multiple positions there for him, and he seems to be doing all right. And Rico Lewis, I'm more impressed. Every time I watch him, I'm a little bit more impressed. I think he's got everything. Very, very good player. Very, very good. He deserves his place in the side, and he's a snip. So I know you said about if funds weren't an issue, Coles, but I, I don't think funds are an issue because
no.
it's actually the cheaper lads that are getting the game time. Your Laporte, Diaz, even Stone's obviously out injured now.
Yeah, Stones is out.
Um, they're not the ones that are getting the game time. So the three lads there that we've all touched on, they're the ones we're looking at for City at the moment. Obviously that could change, but yeah, at the moment in time. Right, Andy Barnett, City heavy defence and Man United heavy forward line, or vice versa? Or would you not go heavy at all and have multiple team assets in your squad? What do you reckon, James?
I don't know. I think I wouldn't be going a heavy United forward line for starters because the only option there, in my opinion, is Rashford. Heavy City defence, yeah, I would do that in a few sides. Probably only three defenders. I wouldn't go for the fourth one because you don't know who that's going to be. So it would be like we just talked about, Ake, Kanji, Lewis. Yeah, nothing more to say on that one, I think.
Ben?
Yeah, it's pretty much for this month. It's City and United heavy for me, and then with Harry Kane in there, obviously supporting the other two strikers, Haaland and Rashford. Yes, I would. There's not really anything interesting me from other teams at the moment. I've got my eye on Chelsea, but like they don't look very good at the minute. They've obviously a new team, not a new
Yeah,
players. Um, they're out of the FA Cup as well, so that they're going to be short on fixtures.
yeah,
We always go on about this, don't we, fixture count, but it does mean a lot in Dream Team, the extra games. But yeah, so City and United heavy for me at the moment. Um, doesn't really matter defensively if you want to go City or United, or you can go a bit of both just to protect yourself.
yeah,
It depends what you're going for. If you're winning your mini leagues, you can protect yourself and have a bit of both. Or if you're trying to get up the leaderboard like Tony is, you can go one way or the other. You can go United or City. It just depends what you fancy.
yeah. I already got burnt by City earlier in the season, just before the World Cup.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember.
So I've gone United this time,
Mm,
um, which probably means it's going to swing me back the other way. But
yeah.
I, it's one of them. Obviously, City conceded again today. United conceded. United have the second fixture this week, so we'll see how that goes.
Mm,
I think, like you say, it's just either or. I mean, there's no right or wrong way. We'll find the right or wrong way after the month's out.
yeah.
Um, if you go one way or the other, you're not making a bad decision. Mix it up. City and United have majority of those players in your team for this month, and you won't go far wrong. Definitely rank wise, anyway. So yeah,
We're all back to square one anyway, aren't we? Because like Newcastle conceded, Arsenal
yeah,
conceded,
yeah.
United,
Everyone
City.
conceded. I
Just
think
Chelsea
so.
got a clean sheet, didn't they? But like you
Yeah,
said, Badia Shealy's not going to play in the Champions League. Reece
it's,
James and Chilwell are like made out of paper,
yeah,
so we don't know how
yeah,
long they're going to be in the team for.
And Thiago Silva's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, and he's like 50.
Yeah.
yeah. It's one of those, isn't it? Um, Not many other options really. Baz Bestos, like hearing from Baz, is Grealish becoming a viable option?
For me,
Ben,
no,
for me, no,
no
no.
way, no way, Jose.
There's two ways of looking at this from my perspective.
Mhm.
One is the negative. He's averaging over the last sort of 5-6 games about 3 points per game.
Yeah,
In the last three, he's averaging 3.3 points per game. The other way of looking at it is in the last 5 games, he's only blanked once, but that was in the four that he got, which was 5 points against Man United, three against Wolves, five against Arsenal, two against Spurs. He's ticking along now, but he's not been explosive in any game this season,
Mm.
um, apart from one where he's got 13 against Wolves in game week 7, and that's it. He's getting twos, threes, and fives.
yeah,
I think there's better options out there at the
I
moment,
think
although they do have some great fixtures coming up, so it could
Mhm.
turn around.
I think Pep needs a slap. I think Pep needs a slap. Sort your defence out, sort your attack out, put Foden back in, play your best defenders, Laporte and Diaz. That was it. A couple of last few seasons, Diaz was the best defender in the league, wasn't he? And then the season before, Laporte was the best defender in the league, but he got
Yeah,
injured the season Diaz signed. So
yeah,
it's just he's messing about with it, tinkering with it too much. Just play your best players. He's just got to. He must have like problems with them all, falling out with everyone. I think he could be the next one going, isn't it? Like Klopp if Klopp's falling out of his team. I know Man City's ticking along; they're doing well, but they're not impressive at the moment, are they?
no,
City.
they're not. They're not. Has he
Mm.
got like three attractive daughters, Pep Guardiola, and all the team keep sleeping with them? Yeah, he's falling out with everyone, isn't he? And yeah, some of the decisions are strange. Grealish, like you say, he is ticking along nicely. Is he gonna ever get 10 pointers, 13 pointers consistently? No. I don't think so. But he's doing all right. And with Foden on the naughty step, I mean, Grealish has got free reign out there on left hand side. He's playing every game, and he looks good. He looks good. He's playing well, Grealish.
Mm. He
But
just hasn't got that killer instinct.
yeah, it's that end bit. It's that like yeah, that
He looks
instinct of
he looks like a number 8 playing on the wing. Like,
yeah,
why are you playing out there? You're not getting in the box. You're
mm,
not getting on the end of stuff.
yeah,
He's like he can create stuff. I would play him further. I'd play him in midfield, me.
yeah,
But he played on the wing for Villa as well, didn't he? But he was like the main man at Villa. He's
yeah,
not the main man at City. I don't know. I think he needs to play further back and be more of a creative player,
yeah.
and then get Foden out on the left wing.
He's definitely got the quality to do
Mm.
that. He's an unbelievably talented player. Yeah, just not seeing that as a dream team asset. He just
Yeah,
it's one of them you'd own him and he's so close to doing it, but yeah, he just doesn't quite do it. He'd just be frustrated. So no, Baz, it'd frustrate the hell out of me. Um, yeah, not yet. Let's see what happens with him. Matt Woolley, is Kane essential for the rest of February? For my teams, I'm likely to go Casemiro to Kane, having maximised United players going into February, which included Kane out. He's already had Kane out, and now he's looking to go Kane back in. Is he essential then?
well, it's hard to say essential, but yeah, he probably is. If you're having a front three, he's probably it'd be in my front three. If I pick a team now, I'd have him for the rest of the month, especially with that Wrexham Sheffield United game at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Obviously Leicester as well. Loves Leicester.
Oh,
Yeah.
screaming that.
What do you think? Because you went Nketiah this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, I went. So obviously, I did the Son punt against Preston, which
Yeah.
bumped me up to 8th in the overall leaderboard. And then I thought, let's go another one more. I thought because you've got to. It's
Yeah.
pointless me just at some points we have to take risks
Hmm.
to try and win it. I
Yeah.
want to win it. I want to come in the top 5 or win it. So Nketiah, yeah, I kind of talked myself into it because I was sending stuff onto our WhatsApp
Yeah.
group, and there weren't much response apart from. And then James piped in towards the end, didn't you, mate?
I did, yeah. I'd woken up by that point. Yeah.
And I was kind of like sending it all in, and the more I was looking at him, I'm like, do you know what? He's a good option. He scores shitloads, 58 points in 7 game weeks or something like that. He was playing 90 minutes every single game.
Hmm.
Because at first I thought Martinelli, but then now Trossard's in, Martinelli's going to be getting took off that pitch quite often. Um, I just thought Nketiah, yeah, Everton away. Hopefully they don't have the new manager bounce. It's been pretty shit. Arsenal have been very good.
Hmm.
And then they've got a double next week.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I thought there's 3 games there. Everton, then they've obviously got, is it Brentford, then Man City midweek. So 3 games. Then you compare that to like you, because my other option was take Son out. So you either take Son out and put Harry Kane in, or take Son out and put a United defender in. But then I thought I'm only missing out on 1 game, and it could be different. It could be a big differential and a nice explosive player to hopefully just get me a 13 pointer or something. Be nice. Didn't work out that way, but
Yeah. But
that's what I hope
Kane
for.
only got 8 points, didn't he? So it's not that.
Yeah,
Not all lost.
it was basically my gamble has cost me 8 points. Depending on what I do with it next weekend, I like to think I'll stick. I probably won't take him out. So yeah, I'm gonna fret watching Kane again next week because he's quite. I think it's about 50 or 60 teams in top 100 having Harry Kane.
It's horrible not having him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've sat on here weeks and weeks saying
Yeah.
about Harry Kane and not having Harry Kane, but just at some point you've got to take them risks.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I don't want to finish 10th.
Yeah.
I want to try and win the thing. So
And
little
Tony,
punts.
it wasn't really a punt, really, was it? It was like he was the fourth choice striker out
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
It's
I
not
mean,
a
the
daft
stats didn't
punt.
lie. No. It's not something where it's like a
Yeah,
desperate attempt at grabbing someone out of thin air just to be different.
yeah.
I mean, the stats, the fixtures, really, they're not the worst.
Mm,
He has 3 games in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Harry Kane has 3 games in 2 weeks. Son had 3 games in 2 weeks. Who do I fancy? Well, I'd be a bit different and go
Mm,
Nketiah just to try and give me that little bit of a boost. Yeah, not paid off so far, but who knows what happens against Brentford at the weekend?
exactly.
We'll see. So, but yeah, I mean, Kane, yeah, he's always essential. Always essential. So, as silly as that sounds, that me saying that, but yeah, you got to have Kane. Go for it. He's always someone who's going to just score out of nowhere against any team. So, yeah, stick with him. John Davy, only one question on everyone's lips, definitely on my lips. Please explain how Shaw hasn't got an assist today. He did get an assist. He got given an assist, and he got taken away. And it weren't just in this format of the game, was it? I'm pretty sure I've heard it's been removed in Sky as well.
Yeah, I heard it got removed in Sky.
And it's absolute tosh. He's played that ball in. It's been buried.
Mm,
How's it not an assist?
I have no idea.
There's been
Have
no
you looked at it,
explanation.
James?
It must have taken the slightest of deflections. That's the
Yeah,
only reasoning that I've seen it not given before is that a slight deflection. It doesn't matter how slight it is.
Yeah.
If it's deflected in any shape or form, they won't give it.
that's bollocks.
They do in FPL, as an FPL assist, as it's called,
Yeah.
but not in other formats. No.
But like, imagine, right? You're having a shot at goal, and you shot for the left hand side of the goal. It's hit a defender and gone in the goal. Still, you still get the goal because it was on target.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
exactly.
his cross was on target, and it's touched him slightly, the
Touched his
critical hit
studs.
defender, and it's still gone to the target who he's crossed it to. So I don't see how it wasn't an assist.
Yeah,
It's
unbelievable.
frustrating that. That's,
It is
that's the
frustrating
worst
because it's probably
part.
not just 2 points; it's probably 5 points. That,
Yeah, because there's a rating.
and like you say, for people who've probably, I mean, you went from Dan Burn to Shaw,
Mm,
so that's, I mean, Dan Burn got 8. Shaw should
yeah.
have had 5,
Mm,
and it's not so big of a deal, then, is it?
yeah.
It's so to answer your question, John. We don't bloody know. It must have been a deflection, like I say, but it's just so harsh. It's piss poor. I mean, he's literally just
Even
crossed the ball to Rashford, and Rashford put it in.
even on Match of the Day, it said assist. Sure.
Yeah, everywhere I've read, assist Shaw.
Yeah.
Everywhere, other than obviously Dream Team took it off him, and I said on Sky they removed his assist as well.
Mm.
Everywhere else, it's an assist.
Did you get assist in Telegraph?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So right. Anyway, I could moan about that all night. So and we don't want to put that in with the cop, otherwise we will be here all night. Let's have a quick run through of all the 3 mini leagues. Are we doing a top 11 tonight, or is it a top 10? Or James, you want to have a go? Do you want to go through the top 10 of the Dream Team Tonic Cash League, mate?
Yeah, sure. In 10th, Harry Jones. 9th, Tom Brinley. 8th, Dan Bartlam. 7th, Andy Allett. 6th, Stephen Williams. 5th, Lee Watson. 4th, Tom Brinley. 3rd, Andy Allett. 2nd, Simon Davies. And top of the shop, Anthony Sutcliffe.
Wait.
Still there. Without Harry Kane as well. Let's sort that out. Right. Next one. Ben?
Yeah.
No, I'd probably be best. I'll read this one out. The DT Tonic Patreon League. In 10th, we've got Amandeep Tatler. In 9th, Tom Brindley. In 8th, Mark McKee. In 7th, Nicholas Steetham. In 6th, yours truly, Anthony Sutcliffe. In 5th, Wayne Foster Crouch. In 4th, Stephen Broughton. 3rd, Jake Bevan. 2nd, John Mellier. And top of the shop still is Lee Houghton with
Well done.
1474. Well done, Lee. Right, the second chance Tonic Cash League. Ben,
Yeah,
do I give it a read, mate?
I will. You lucky bugger. So, 10th place, we have Mark McKee. Joint 8th, we have Tom Brindley and Andrew Haynes. 7th place, Stephen Holt. 6th place, Phil Russo. 5th place, Andrew Haynes. 4th place, me, Ben Lee. And how the hell have you managed this?
I don't
Tony?
know. I don't
He's
know.
got 3rd place on 383 points, Tony Sutcliffe. 2nd place on 391 points, Tony Sutcliffe. And top of the shop on 398 points, Tony Sutcliffe.
It's a fix. It's a
Unbelievable.
fix.
That's brilliant, that. You must be buzzing.
Well, it's very close up there. It's still early doors in that league, definitely. So close. What is it? Top 10 are separated by 33 points. So, but yeah, it's nice to have 3 teams up there to have a play with. Yeah, all good. Let's get to the next league, Ben. The
Yeah.
the differential league. Do you want me to read this one out? We've not done the differential
You
league
ain't done it in a
have we?
while.
So, new choices for January. The choices for January was Fergie Adekanji, who got him 15 points, so leaves him on 41. James, you had Mahrez last month. You got your whopping 42 points.
I'm back in the game, boys.
You are back in the game, mate. Leaves you with a new total of 52. I had Alvarez, who got me 18. Not great, but not as bad as Fergie. So that leaves me on 61 points. The community had a really nice month as well with Fernandez. He got them 38 points, left them on 72. Top of the shop, Ben, you had Nathan Aki, who got you a nice 23 points, leaving you in a total with 86. You're smashing it there.
Get
Smashing
in.
it. Obviously, we made our February picks. So, first pick obviously was Fergie, who went with. Who did you go with, James?
Martinez.
You went with Martinez, yeah.
Martinez. James, you went with
Mahrez.
Mahrez.
Again, you can't do that.
I didn't notice that back to back. Mahrez is.
I checked the rules and
I didn't click on you did that until just now. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Because you said to me, "Oh, you can pick Aki again," and I thought, "Oh, I picked him last month. I can't pick him again."
I've made a master class of a pick. Casemiro.
Ooh, -3.
Hey, -3 to start the month for Tony. Happy days. The community, they voted in
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw, who got robbed of an assist, so they'll be fuming. And Ben,
I went with In the Mud Drick.
in the Muldrick. Yeah. So 0 points for him as well.
Hooked at half time. I've jinxed him.
He's just warming up. So that's all for this week. I don't have to remember to say, like, subscribe, and I've already done it all, haven't I? In the intro. It's
Yeah,
lovely. Yeah.
but make
But
sure you do.
remember, free trial starts 6th of Feb. So if you're listening to this and it's the 8th, 9th of Feb, just you can still get involved, can't you, James?
Yeah. So it will start from Monday the 6th and it will run for a whole week. So get involved and give it a try. It's free, a free trial. If you don't like it, you can cancel before the 7 days is up and you won't be charged. So you get to read all that great content that we've just put out there. There's at least 3, 4, maybe five new articles on there actually. Posted in the last few days, and yeah, it's really good value. Less than a Costa coffee and a muffin
It
a
is.
month.
Or shall
It
I
is.
say a Morrison's coffee, as I was
Yeah,
telling you
Morrison's
earlier?
coffee.
Oh,
Ben goes to go out on piss and ends up in Morrison's. I've never heard a story like it. But yeah, like you say, I think the value as well, not just the articles and the other things, the early access and whatever else, but that Discord, there's a group of cracking lads on there and lasses, um, and it's just so much help. You'll see it. Join the free trial, you'll see it. I don't have to sell it myself. Come
some
on,
top
try it.
managers in there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Some top dream team
Some top
players
lads
who
and
will
lasses.
improve your game, improve your decision making. Yeah. Cheers, lads. It's been a cracking pod. Um, yeah.
Good night,
Cheers.
chaps.
Good
Cheers,
night.
everyone. Thanks for listening.